Chapter 21 Crumbling Roar. The black beast made a deafening roar. At that instant, the abysmal Saint Master erupted. He went all out. The leader of the group, the Demon King Chen Yu, looked at the beast in disdain. Scram! Demon King Chen Yu yelled as he took a step forward. His fist, surrounded by a thick demonic mist, punched out. A terrifying aura swept out. Boom! A thunderous sound reverberated as the dark beast the size of a small mountain exploded under the impact of the punch. At the same time, the dark vortex the abysmal Saint Master was in started to crumble with a bang. Whoosh! The abysmal Saint Master retreated and barely managed to balance himself once again. He was pale and there was blood at the corner of his mouth. The difference between Stage 2 and Stage 3 is so big? The abysmal Saint Master looked at Demon King Chen Yu in shock. He managed to break through to become a Stage 2 Emperor not long after he had left the 3 Emperor world. He was slightly stronger than the Red Dragon King. Even so, he was helpless against the Demon King Chen Yu, who was in Stage 3.
Mayday, Mayday.
Heaven Repairing Palace is under attack. Akron Palace has a Stage 3 Great Emperor. East Royal Emperor and I are no match for him. Requesting help immediately. The abysmal Saint Master sent out a distress message. He knew that even if he asked for reinforcements now, the experts from Sanctuary Alliance and the Special Tribes Alliance would need time to get there. During this period of time, could he and East Royal Emperor fend off the attackers? The answer was no. Humph. I will not waste time on trash like you. Demon King Chen Yu looked abysmal Saint Master in the eye as he moved towards the Heaven Repairing Palace. Stop! The abysmal Saint Master yelled fiercely as the darkness shrouded him in an attempt to stop the Demon King in his tracks. Before he could get to the Demon King, he was stopped by 3 other Great Emperors. None of the 3 Great Emperors reached Stage 2, but they could hinder his movements when they worked together. On the other side, the East Royal Emperor was in the same predicament as the abysmal Saint Master. He was surrounded by 3 Great Emperors. Damn it! The abysmal Saint Master and East Royal Emperor did not look good. On the other hand, the Demon King Chen Yu appeared in front of the Heaven Repairing Palace. Is this the Heaven Repairing Palace? According to legend, the palace was built at a great cost by a clan. It was a top-tier opportunity even back in the ancient past. It is a pity that such a place is now used by a group of people in the chaotic realm trying to break through. What a joke that I shall completely destroy it. Demon King Chen Yu smiled coldly. He clenched his fist and punched outwards. Boom! It was a powerful punch, so powerful that everything between his fist and the palace exploded. A deafening sound was heard. The entire palace trembled and returned to normal after a while. Oh! It seems to be quite sturdy. That's right, this palace managed to survive that apocalyptic war. Of course it should be sturdy. Demon King Chen Yu was surprised. Then he understood why. Since that is the case. A flash of ruthlessness flashed across his eyes before his aura rose to the peak. He was surrounded by demonic mist before he attacked once again. This time, the Demon King Chen Yu used both his hands. Boom! 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 Punches with the power to kill an ordinary Great Emperor rained down on the palace. Under the frenzied assault, the palace started to tremble more and more. It threatened to collapse at any time. Within the Heaven Repairing Palace, in the dark space, Jian Wushuang sat quietly, meditating to the various doctrines and cultivating the second scroll of the immemorial celestial body. After half a month of meditation, his understanding of the space-time doctrine and reincarnation doctrine improved significantly. Both his reincarnation doctrine and space-time doctrine reached the 9th level within the Doctrine Palace, with the space-time doctrine only one step away from turning into rules of order. As for his sword doctrine, his understanding had improved greatly. If he were to cast his sword principles such as Sword Principle Shen Luo, it would be much more powerful and brilliant. As for the second scroll of immemorial celestial body, this secret skill was of a very high level. If Jian Wushuang were in the outside world, he would need a long time to successfully cultivate it. Now on the altar, with the help of the pure energy, his progress was fast. He was not far from success. He estimated he would need roughly 10 more days before he successfully cultivate the second scroll. If that was the case, his fighting power would skyrocket once again. He left after half a month inside the Heaven Repairing Palace. Under normal circumstances, he would have made it in time. Right then. Boom! A thunderous boom exploded in his eardrums. A crack in space appeared in the dark space in which the 12 altars were located. That was just the beginning. Soon after, the booms started to become more regular. A large amount of space was destroyed as the 12 altars threatened to collapse at any time. What is going on? What is happening? Looks like someone is attacking the Heaven Repairing Palace from outside. Abysmal Saint Master and East Royal Emperor should be guarding the palace. Who dares to create this commotion? The 12 Emperor gods were surprised as they received a message from the Abysmal Saint Master. 7 great emperors from Akron Palace attacked? As far as he knew, Sanctuary Alliance paid utmost attention to the opening of Heaven Repairing Palace this time. There were 2 great emperors guarding the palace personally. At the various entrances, there were secret restrictions and many almighties standing on guard, and yet the Akron Palace managed to break through all these defenses? Chapter 21-22 Jian Wushuang's retaliation. Looks like I underestimated the capabilities of the Akron Palace. Jian Wushuang thought solemnly. He made a decision instantly. Whoosh! Jian Wushuang left the altar. He appeared in the dark space, which was severely damaged. He scanned the Emperor gods sitting at the other altars and said, "All of you continue to meditate and cherish this opportunity. Let me handle the commotion outside." He then left the 11 Emperor gods behind and dashed out of the palace. There shouldn't be any problems since the Sword Emperor decided to handle the matter personally. Let us continue. Underworld God said before he closed his eyes. The remaining 10 Emperor gods composed themselves and continued meditating. Outside the Heaven Repairing Palace, Demon King Chen Yu was still in a frenzy, throwing punches at the palace. The palace looked like it was going to collapse at any moment. None of the experts from Sanctuary Alliance could stop him as he rained down punches ruthlessly on the palace. Right then. Whoosh! VAR AXID 6327 document, element IXO 6327, SSP 6327-math floor date now. Windowed pubic stag, windowed pubic stag, windowed pubic stag. A beam of light burst forth from within the palace. The moment it appeared, a terrifying sword aura swept out in all directions. Jian Wushuang had fire in his eyes. Divine power raged all around as Blood Mountain Sword turned into lightning and slashed towards Demon King Chen Yu. With his current power level, even a casual slash was very powerful to the point a stage 3 great emperor like Demon King Chen Yu would be threatened. Ha! Demon King Chen Yu frowned. His fist changed its target, from the palace to the sword light. Clang! The collision between flesh and metal made a thunderous sound. After the collision, Demon King Chen Yu staggered while Jian Wushuang took 3 steps back. While Jian Wushuang was moving back uncontrollably. Whoosh! 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 7 beams of golden light glowed. Every beam of light was a sword which contained great power. They were his Hongjun golden swords. Before Jian Wushuang entered the Heaven Repairing Palace, his understanding of the space-time doctrine had limited him to being able to command only 6 of these swords. After half a month of intense cultivation, his understanding had reached the peak of the 9th level within the Doctrine Palace. Hence he was able to command the 7th sword. The 7 Hongjun golden swords were like 7 shooting stars. They streaked across the space and appeared in front of Demon King Chen Yu together. Humph! Demon King Chen Yu grunted as demonic mist surrounded him. His right hand enlarged and encompassed all 7 swords. With a bang, the 7 swords flew backwards. Jian Wushuang's face turned dark upon seeing this. Demon King Chen Yu has grasped a little of rules of order. He is much stronger than me if he uses his power together with his secret skills. Each slash by any of my 7 swords has the power of a top-tier stage 2 great emperors. However, he simply used his fist and punched all swords away. This power. It's a pity that he has come too early. If he came 10 days later, I would have successfully celestial immemorial body. Using that power, it would be much easier to deal with him, Jian Wushuang muttered. The immemorial celestial body would not only make his diving body stronger, but also strengthen his body's self-defense mechanism. He should also experience a leap in the quantity and quality of his divine power. When he had first cultivated the first scroll of the immemorial celestial body, the quality of his divine power had increased threefold. Even though the second scroll would not have such a crazy leap, there would still be a leap in his power. Using that insane divine power, he could match Demon King Chen Yu in power without even grasping rules of order. However, the fact was that he had not cultivated the second scroll of immemorial celestial body, hence his fighting power was not at that level. Even though my fighting power is lower, I can still fight him head-on using the unique properties of an inverse cultivator. Jian Wushuang thought as a glimpse of sternness flashed across his eyes.
Jian Wushuang?
It's you again. Killing intent spewed forth when Demon King Chen Yu saw him. He hated Jian Wushuang to the core. At first, Jian Wushuang had ventured into the Three Emperors world and destroyed the Supreme Emperor Stone. This had caused their plan of using the Supreme Emperor Stone to destroy the eternal chaotic world to fail. Then, Jian Wushuang had helped to expose Zishu's true identity as a spy. Jian Wushuang had used himself as bait and deduced that there was a spy among the higher-ups within the Sanctuary Alliance. The reason why the spies among Sanctuary Alliance were found and killed were largely due to him. Lastly, the reason why the plan for the special tribes had failed was also due to Jian Wushuang. This meant that the reason why the Akron Palace had failed over and over again was because of him. This was also the reason why he had been shamed in front of Kaiser Blood and Lord Fen. Looks like it's my lucky day. You managed to escape the other time in the Three Emperors world, but you won't be so lucky this time around. What a joke. You couldn't even kill me the previous time. This time, you probably can't even fight me head-on. Jian Wushuang said coldly as he attacked.
Ha ha.
You've got guts. Demon King Chen Yu fought back, excited. He completely ignored the heaven-repairing palace. Compared to the Emperor gods, Jian Wushuang posed a bigger threat to the Three Emperors world. He was an inverse cultivator like Emperor Bai with terrifying growth. If this were to continue, he could become the second Emperor Bai. Killing him would mean much more than killing the Emperor gods within the heaven-repairing palace. Demon King Chen Yu was confident about being able to kill Jian Wushuang. Back in the Three Emperors world, the reason Jian Wushuang had survived was because Emperor Bai had arrived on time to save Jian Wushuang. Another reason was because all Jian Wushuang did was run. Now that Emperor Bai was not around, no one could stop him. Furthermore, Jian Wushuang did not show any signs of wanting to escape and wanted to fight him straight on. How could he miss such a precious chance? Die, Jian Wushuang. Demon King Chen Yu roared as 6 more arms grew to make up a total of 8. Chapter 21-23 Battle against Demon King Chen Yu. The Demon King Chen Yu suddenly exploded in size and was 10 feet tall. His skin completely turned into bronze and each of his 8 hands gripped a different weapon. Sword, bats, mirrors, seals. At the same time, a vertical third eye slowly opened in between his eyebrows. It was charming but released red light. At that moment, all 8 of his arms swung at Jian Wushuang. Each arm gripped tight of the respective weapons as each attack brought about limitless demonic aura. Jian Wushuang had experienced the power of these weapons firsthand before. He dared not to be careless. Humph! Jian Wushuang grunted as his divine body grew in size. Arms started to grow out of his body. His giant divine body looked like a giant vortex that swallowed everything there was. A special sword essence of gale boiled. Sword principle Shen Luo. Mixed elements spirit. Sword lights swept out in all directions. Qian Wushuang had improved greatly over the course of half a month when he had meditated to the purple exotic beast within the heaven-repairing palace. His understanding of the various doctrines and his sword skills had increased greatly. When he cast sword principle Shen Luo, not only was it more powerful, the entire process had been much smoother and seemed more natural. Clang! 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 Sounds of metals crashing together rang out loud as the monstrous aura swept uncontrollably outwards. Jian Wushuang fought the Demon King Chen Yu head-on. His divine power was boiling. Within a second, both had exchanged blows at least 100 times. Using his 8 arms and weapons, Demon King Chen Yu attacked in a frenzy with incredible power. However, Jian Wushuang had managed to parry all the attacks without fail using sword principal Xian Luo. He was unharmed. When I last fought this brat, he was battered and exhausted. This time, he was able to hold his ground well. Demon King Chen Yu thought coldly. A vicious aura then erupted and swept out in all directions. A ray of blood-red light burst forth from his third eye between his eyebrows. This light was excellent, glaring, and fast. At such a short distance, its sudden appearance did not allow Jian Wushuang to have any time to defend against it. Phut! The blood-red light penetrated his body and went straight for his soul. Ha ha! Soul attack? It would probably threaten or kill me if it was cast back in the Three Emperors world. But now, Jian Wushuang laughed in disdain. He was different from when he was still in the Three Emperors world. Ever since he had refined the soul-swallowing pearl, the strength of Jian Wushuang's soul had improved significantly. His soul was no longer his weakness. It had become his advantage instead. The power of the blood-red light was reduced when it passed through the 5-gem armor. The remaining power was diminished by over 90% before it finally broke through all the defenses and crashed into his soul. There was a slight jerk in his consciousness before it returned to normal. Just by looking at him, he seemed to be unaffected. Demon King Chen charged after the blood-red light shot out of the eye on his forehead. The power of the 8 divine weapons were fully utilized, and the most terrifying among them was a blood-red slash. The powerful attack had Jian Wushuang completely surrounded. Demon King Chen Yu thought that even if Jian Wushuang were able to block the attacks, he could not do so as there would be a blank in his consciousness after the soul attack. In reality, the unique sword essence swept over Jian Wushuang as he cast Mixed Element Spirit, a move from sword principal Xian Luo. He managed to block the attacks easily. The powerful force barely managed to force him to take a few steps back. He blocked it. Demon King Chen Yu was surprised. Jian Wushuang regained his balance and smirked. Demon King Chen Yu, that move was decent. It is a pity that you cannot harm me. Now, try this. Jian Wushuang's eyes turned cold as the sword essence he radiated changed. The essence before was unrestricted and felt like it could devour everything. At that instant, it felt like it had become the supreme power in this world. A will of the Emperor that surpassed even that of the 9th heaven swept out in all directions. Jian Wushuang held the Blood Mountain sword with 4 of his arms. A huge amount of divine power and bloodline power was transfused into the sword steadily. He grew in size. At that moment, it was as though Jian Wushuang had morphed into a supreme emperor, and the sword that he was holding high was the Emperor's sword. King's Sword Principle. It was the most powerful secret skill that Jian Wushuang had. However, King's Sword Principle was a purely offensive skill. Furthermore, it needed time to channel. This was a skill used only when people wanted to use their ultimate skill head-on. On the other hand, Sword Principal Xian Luo was a skill best used in close-quarter battles. Jian Wushuang could only cast the first move of the King's Sword Principle for a long time. Even so, the power was still incredible. Now, after half a month of meditating within the Heaven Repairing Palace, there was a leap in his understanding of sword doctrine and sword skills. This allowed him to cast the second move in the King's Sword Principle. The move that Jian Wushuang had cast was the second move in King's Sword Principle. Jian Wushuang yelled as he slashed his sword downwards. The power had already accumulated to the maximum. This slash split the sky. The entire space was split into 2 right away. Wherever the sword slash passed, it erased everything. Wowlala, the powerful slash appeared in front of the Demon King Chen Yu. His iris constricted when he saw this move. He knew that just based on power alone, this attack without a doubt had already reached the power level of a stage 3 great emperor. This brat. Demon King Chen Yu swung the arm which was holding the large black bat ferociously. Boom! A mighty shadow of a black bat appeared in the space and crashed into the slash. Chapter 21-24 The Final Hope Bang. A deafening bang reverberated in the air. When the 2 attacks met, the space around cracked as though it was made of paper. After the clash, Jian Wushuang backed off immediately. As for Demon King Chen Yu, he too took 3 steps back. After the 3 heavy steps, Demon King Chen Yu raised his head and looked at the Demon King Chen Yu and frowned. This brat managed to force me to back off? Even though he had the upper hand in this clash, it was very small. Most importantly, the sword light forced him back. This meant that Jian Wushuang had the power to threaten him. Demon King Chen Yu, that is your maximum power? Jian Wushuang stood in the air as he smiled at Demon King Chen Yu coldly. Rage filled his heart before he had his temper back in control. This brat has an extraordinary power level. It is almost impossible for me to kill him alone. My target this time is the Heaven Repairing Palace. There is no need for me to waste my time on him. Demon King Chen Yu thought. He moved after he made up his mind. This time, he did not move towards Jian Wushuang. His target was the Heaven Repairing Palace. Jian Wushuang frowned when he saw this. Take this, Demon King Chen Yu. Jian Wushuang roared as his deep voice reverberated through the battlefield. Dark jade light burst forth from the 9 ancient god stars on top of his forehead as the divine power around him boiled. Ancient god secret skills, moon picking skill. Hum. Heaven and earth shook as the space around Demon King Chen Yu started to constrict. As for Jian Wushuang's current power level, the moon picking skill could restrain even people like Demon King Chen Yu to a great extent. This secret skill. Demon King Chen Yu was surprised. A large, soft hand started to float towards him, as though a mother was about to touch her baby. This large hand made Demon King Chen Yu cautious as he sensed danger. Based on its power, it was even stronger than the sword skill that Jian Wushuang had cast. Even though Jian Wushuang is not a Stage 3 Great Emperor, he still has many tricks up his sleeves, Demon King Chen Yu thought as he turned even more ferocious. While monstrous clouds of demonic mist filled the sky instantly. Scram! The space-time which constrained him exploded with a roar as he swung the blade he held in one of his hands. A mirage of a colossal blade appeared and descended upon everyone. It tore everything in its way apart. It instantly ripped the hand apart. Jian Wushuang's offense disintegrated instantly. His purpose was not to injure Demon King Chen Yu, but to halt him for a brief moment when the Demon King was parrying the attack. At that instant, Jian Wushuang dashed in front of Demon King Chen Yu. Demon King Chen Yu, let us have a rematch. Jian Wushuang mocked. A unique sword essence could be felt radiating from him as he managed to cut off the Demon King as for his current power level and sword principal Shen Luo. He had no problem stopping Demon King Chen Yu. Jian Wushuang managed to block the fury of attacks by the angry Demon King Chen Yu, stopping him from getting closer to the Heaven Repairing Palace. Damn it! Demon King Chen Yu's blood boiled as he yelled at everyone who was around him. What are all of you doing? Go and destroy the Heaven Repairing Palace and kill everyone around here. Upon hearing this, the experts from Akron Palace attacked. This time, Akron Palace not only sent a Stage 3 Great Emperor, Demon King Chen Yu, but almost every single expert they had. There were 6 Great Emperors. These 6 Great Emperors simply kept Abysmal Saint Master and East Royal Emperor occupied. In reality, not all 6 Great Emperors needed to be there to get the job done. Hence, 3 Great Emperors broke away and headed towards the Heaven Repairing Palace. Oh no! The Abysmal Saint Master and East Royal Emperor turned pale. However, they could not do anything to stop them. Jian Wushuang, who was fighting Demon King Chen Yu, was aware of the situation around the battlefield. He grunted as he pulled out an old mirror. He used his divine power and summoned 5 figures with powerful auras from the mirror. 5 war spirits, stop them. Jian Wushuang ordered the war spirits. The 5 war spirits dashed towards the Great Emperors immediately and used all their might. The 5 war spirits were like 5 Great Emperors. They stopped the 3 Great Emperors immediately. Nice one, Sword Emperor. Never would I have thought that the Sword Emperor would have such an amazing treasure. The Abysmal Saint Master, East Royal Emperor and everyone else heaved a sigh of relief. It was already amazing that Jian Wushuang could possess such a treasure which allowed him to have 5 Great Emperors as helpers. However, Jian Wushuang's face was still solemn, even though the 3 Great Emperors had stopped. 5 war spirits from the 5 Fire Godly Spirit Mirror indeed have the fighting power of a Stage 1 Great Emperor and can stop the few Great Emperors. However, there are many Emperor gods this time, Jian Wushuang muttered to himself. Indeed, There were around 20 emperor gods apart from the 7 great emperors led by Demon King Chen Yu. Among these emperor gods, there were 8 who were top-tier emperor gods. The remaining were also very close to that power level. On the side of the Sanctuary Alliance were little experts on guard. The quality of these experts were also not good compared to the Akron Palace. At the start, they could barely stop the invaders. Now, they were completely oppressed. Many of the emperor gods from Akron Palace had freed themselves and started attacking the heaven-repairing palace. These emperor gods would have posed no problems on a normal day. However, no matter Jian Wushuang, Abysmal Saint Master or East Royal Emperor could not free themselves to deal with them. Only one of the war spirits could find the chance to go and stop those emperor gods. However, that would not be effective as there were too many emperor gods. Soon, these emperor gods appeared in front of the heaven-repairing palace and started to attack the palace with all their might. Even though the power level was nothing compared to the Demon King Chen Yu, the heaven-repairing palace was already severely damaged by Demon King Chen Yu and was at the brink of collapsing. Even though the attacks were not very powerful, they could still potentially destroy the palace once and for all. Chapter 21-25 The Two Men Who Broke Through. Boom! 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 Waves of attacks were being cast by the emperor gods as they crashed heavily on the heaven-repairing palace. After all these attacks, the palace started to shake vigorously. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang's eyes turned cold. He was facing a choice. The choice of whether to cast his soul attack. Since the start of the battle, Jian Wushuang had not cast his soul attack no matter how his battle went against Demon King Chen Yu. In reality, his soul attack was extremely powerful even without casting any soul attack secret skills or with the help of Soul Swallowing Pearl. His soul attack was powerful enough to threaten a Stage 2 Great Emperor. Now that he had mastered 3 Divine Lights, a soul attack secret skill from the ancient past, his soul attacks would be very powerful and destructive. Even though he could not free himself in his battle with Demon King Chen Yu, soul attacks were very bizarre and could directly affect the emperor gods. Once he had cast soul attack, it could instantly kill all emperor gods who were attacking the heaven-repairing palace. However, once he did this, his trump card would be made clear. Soul Swallowing Pearl and his soul attack were trump cards that he wanted to hide. Emperor Bai also reminded him personally to not use this trump card unless absolutely necessary, as it could be of great use and greatly damage the opponents during the final battle against the 3 Emperors world. The element of surprise would be lost if this trump card was revealed early to the 3 Emperors world. Hence, Jian Wushuang was hesitant. In this scenario, if I do not use my soul attack to kill these emperor gods, heaven-repairing palace might be destroyed. The huge cost that the Sanctuary Alliance incurred would go to waste. Jian Wushuang thought as he made his decision. Looks like I have to use this move. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. It looked like he was still keeping Demon King Chen Yu occupied and stopped him from having any way to attack. Jian Wushuang was preparing his soul attack secretly. Right when he was about to cast soul attack. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 figures, one after another, dashed out from within the palace. At the same time, 2 overbearing auras filled the entire battlefield. Ha! Jian Wushuang looked at the 2 figures immediately. One of them was a middle-aged man who wore a green shirt, while the other was a young man with white hair and eyes. Both of them looked around coldly. They were Underworld God and Emperor God Qianling. The auras that radiated from both of them were far more powerful than that of an Emperor God. Especially an Underworld God. His aura was on par with a Stage 2 Great Emperor Abysmal Saint Master. They broke through? Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. Abysmal Saint Master and East Royal Emperor too were elated. Indeed, both of them had broken through. They were already at the brim of the Emperor God realm. With the help of Heaven Repairing Palace, it was almost guaranteed for them to reach the realm of Great Emperor. Both of them wanted to get more opportunities within the Heaven Repairing Palace, so they were not in a rush to break through. Like Underworld God, he could have broken through on the 5th day in the palace. He did not waste time on breaking through as he knew he could do so even after he left the palace. Instead, he spent the time meditating. Emperor God Qianling could have broken through on the 12th day in the palace. Both of them wanted to benefit more from the palace. However, they felt that the Heaven Repairing Palace was in danger, and hence both of them made the decision on the spot to break through. Now, they stood in front of everyone as great emperors. Humph! Bastards from Akron Palace. Underworld God scanned the battlefield coldly as he fixed his gaze on the emperor gods attacking the palace frenziedly. Immediately, boom! It looked like a simple step, but the underworld god was like a large, demonic beast as he appeared in the middle of these emperor gods. Waves of green light engulfed everyone around. Those lights were sharp claws, each with the ability to tear heaven and earth apart. Oh no! When the emperor gods reacted, their faces turned pale. They had no time to block the attack. Puffed, puffed, puffed. Terrifying power killed 6 emperor gods straight away. After Underworld God attacked, Emperor God Qianling was not too far behind. A black spear appeared out of nowhere from behind one of the great emperors. It had an incredible aura and terrifying destructive power as it targeted the heart. No! The great emperor from Akron Palace was shocked. He was in the middle of a heated battle against one of the war spirits and did not expect a spear to come out of nowhere. This powerful spear had appeared too suddenly. Even though the great emperor tried his best to shift his body to the side to avoid striking the heart, the spear still collided hard with his divine body. Puff! A mouthful of blood came out of his mouth as he turned extremely pale at a top-tier stage 1 great emperor. This great emperor backed off immediately, staring at Emperor God Qianling in the eye as he was severely injured. Emperor God looked at his prey coldly as he continued his attack. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang, Abysmal Saint Master and East Royal Emperor were relieved. The reactions of the experts from the Akron Palace were quite the opposite. Fear was written all over their faces. Originally, at the Great Emperor level, the lineup had been even as each was preoccupied by another person of similar power level. This was why the Emperor Gods could attack the palace. Now, with the addition of Underworld God and Emperor God Qianling, the balance was broken. Underworld God, who had the power level of a Stage 2 Great Emperor, charged into the lines of Akron Palace and started a massacre. The tides of the battle turned once these 2 men entered the battle. Now, Sanctuary Alliance had the absolute advantage against both Great Emperors and Emperor Gods. The experts from Akron Palace could no longer threaten the heaven-repairing palace. What was left to do for Jian Wushuang and his friends was for them to try their best and kill the remaining experts from Akron Palace. Chapter 21-26 Desperate Measures Kill them all. East Royal Emperor eyes were bloodshot as he fought a great emperor from Akron Palace with a war spirit. Since all of you dare to come to heaven-repairing palace, you should be prepared to die. The Abysmal Saint Master screamed. He turned into a dark beast and fully displayed his Stage 2 Great Emperor fighting power. He managed to suppress 2 great emperors from Akron Palace. Underworld God killed most of the Emperor Gods and began focusing on his attacks on a great emperor from Akron Palace. The great emperor retreated as the Underworld God used his Stage 2 Great Emperor fighting power. Emperor God Qianling continued to chase the great emperor which he had wounded as he got closer to killing him. The last great emperor was in the worst state as he was being attacked by 4 war spirits. As for Demon King Chen Yu, he was occupied by Jian Wushuang and had no chance to help his other teammates. Damn all of you brats! Demon King Chen Yu's eyes were bloodshot as a terrifying killing intent radiated from him. He was burning with rage as the 8 divine weapons swung around crazily in an attempt to kill Jian Wushuang. However, his efforts were in vain as he could not even harm Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang could stop all his attacks using mixed element spirit from the sword principal Shen Luo alone. Even though he was passive and felt sullen, he did not mind at all. As for the current situation, the Sanctuary Alliance had an advantage. Lord Demon King, I cannot hold on much longer. Lord Demon King, let's retreat. Lord Demon King. Many urgent calls came from all around the battlefield as the great emperors from Akron Palace could not hold their ground much longer. It was natural given the large gap in their power levels. Even though each great emperor had the ability to survive the most dire situations, that was only applicable if they were running away. Now, they were obviously at a disadvantage. If they did not run, they were simply awaiting their death. Bastard! Hearing the surrounding voices, Demon King Chen Yu was angered even more. Akron Palace had already failed many times. I have lost face in front of Kaiser Blood and Lord Fen. This time, Akron Palace has already sent almost every expert it had. I even came down personally to take charge. If we were to fail again, my dignity and that of the Akron would cease to exist and we would become a joke in the eyes of Holocaust sect. This time, we cannot fail. Kill. Continue to kill. If all else fails, cast soul ignition. Demon King Chen Yu roared as his voice blasted out loudly over the battlefield. Hearing this, the experts from Akron Palace were shocked. Under these circumstances, Demon King Chen Yu was still prioritizing his dignity. He asked them to give it their all and cast soul ignition. The experts from Akron Palace were stunned as their faces turned dark. Under normal circumstances, they would be willing to give it their all. But soul ignition? Everyone knew that one would definitely die if they cast soul ignition. All the experts from Akron Palace had taken a very long time to reach where they were right now. Who would die willingly? Most importantly, even if they risked their lives, they still might not be able to turn the tides of this battle, or even kill a few great emperors from Sanctuary Alliance. Furthermore, even if they could kill a few great emperors, or destroy the Akron Palace to disrupt the plans of Sanctuary Alliance, it would cost them 6 great emperors. It was not a worthy trade. If they died this way, there would be no value or meaning in their deaths. Who would be willing to do something like this? Hence, the experts from Akron Palace fell quiet after hearing the roar from Demon King Chen Yu. None of them chose to cast soul ignition. The experts that Akron Palace left in the ancient Mystery Land transmitted a message to Demon King Chen Yu. Lord Demon King, the reinforcements from Sanctuary Alliance arrived at the ancient Mystery Land. There are a total of 6 great emperors and countless almighties. They will reach Heaven Repairing Palace soon. Demon King Chen Yu's face turned dark when he received this message. He was not surprised by this. The ancient Mystery Land was within the eternal chaotic world and was under the control of the Sanctuary Alliance. The experts guarding Heaven Repairing Palace would definitely request reinforcement from Sanctuary Alliance when they were under attack. Sanctuary Alliance would send experts to reinforce immediately. He planned to destroy the Heaven Repairing Palace and kill some experts from Sanctuary Alliance and flee before the reinforcements could arrive. What actually happened was the Heaven Repairing Palace was not destroyed, but the reinforcements were already arriving. He would be salty if he had to leave this way. Brat, you forced me to do this. Demon King Chen Yu roared as a terrifying demonic mist boiled all around him. At the same time, streaks of blood-red secret restrictions lit up as they covered his whole body. He looked like he was made entirely out of blood. At the same time, the aura he had grew to a whole new level. This is... Jian Wushuang was shocked. He could deduce that Demon King Chen Yu had used another secret skill to boost his power, and not soul ignition. Demon King Chen Yu was risking his life and giving his all. A Stage 3 great emperor chose to risk his life? How strong would he be then? Jian Wushuang then experienced it firsthand. Demon King Chen Yu roared with rage as his 8 arms swung the divine weapons at Jian Wushuang. It approached Jian Wushuang from every possible angle. The speed and power of the attacks had reached a whole new level. Jian Wushuang looked gloomy. Divine power boiled as he cast his sword skills again fearlessly. Boom! 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 Waves of deafening collisions shook the entire battlefield. With each collision, Jian Wushuang grunted. With the sudden growth in power, Jian Wushuang took even more effort to fend off the attacks. After barely fending off these attacks, the aftershock of the attacks still managed to hurt him even though the 5-gem armor had neutralizing effects. Jian Wushuang's current divine body was extremely powerful, yet the aftershocks of Demon King Chen Yu's attack could still harm him. This proved how powerful the attacks were. Chapter 21-27 The Salty Demon King Chen Yu. The terrifying onslaught continued. The fighting power that Demon King Chen Yu displayed shocked Abysmal Saint Master, Underworld God, and everyone around. They knew they could not even fend off one attack at that level. However, Jian Wushuang could fight the Demon King head-on single-handedly without backing off at all. Demon King Chen Yu could not deal with Jian Wushuang even after he had risked his life and given his all. His face was dark. After many collisions, the aura radiating from Jian Wushuang did not weaken at all. Under the fury of attacks, Jian Wushuang was unharmed? This brat. Demon King Chen Yu gritted his teeth and thought. What he did not know was that Jian Wushuang was actually hurt. After each collision, his divine body would be hurt. However, his divine power would heal the injury instantly. This caused the illusion that Jian Wushuang was completely unhurt. This was how overpowered the perfect chaotic holy body in the 7th step of inverse cultivation was. Demon King Chen Yu could not do much to Jian Wushuang. Furthermore, Chen Yu. Another message came through. This time, Demon King Chen Yu was surprised as the person sending the message was Kaiser Blood. Chen Yu, leave immediately. Emperor Bai is headed your way. Kaiser Blood said urgently. Demon King Chen Yu did not care about the 6 great emperors who were coming to assist. There was no way they could hurt him. However, this was not the case for Emperor Bai. He had fought Emperor Bai head-on before. He clearly knew how powerful and scary that man was. The last time they had fought in the 3 Emperors world, he had some confidence. However, this time they were fighting in the ancient mystery land, in the territory of Emperor Bai. His life would be at risk if he was overwhelmed by Emperor Bai and the experts from both the Sanctuary Alliance and the Special Tribes Alliance. Even though Demon King Chen Yu was extremely unwilling to retreat, he dared not stay. He took a deep breath and shouted, "Retreat!" His voice reverberated across the battlefield. He had originally attacked Jian Wushuang in a frenzy. Now, he backed off quickly. The experts from the other battlefield had long reached their limit. Now they heard the command to retreat, they heaved a sigh of relief and started to retreat. Humph! You do not simply come and go at will. Chase them and kill them all. Jian Wushuang commanded coldly. Whoosh! Jian Wushuang turned into a shooting star and started the chase. Kill! Kill! Kill them all! Abysmal Saint Master, Underworld God, Emperor God Qianling and East Royal Emperor chased alongside Jian Wushuang. As for the 5 war spirits, Jian Wushuang recalled them to the 5 fire godly spirit mirror. The experts from the 2 different sides started a game of cat and mouse. They flew across the ancient battlefield at amazing speed. Jian Wushuang and his allies had a very strong killing intent as they chased the people running quickly. Within the ancient battlefield, they had no additional consideration as it was under the control of Sanctuary Alliance. The situation was different for the experts from Akron Palace. The 6 great emperors from Sanctuary Alliance and Special Tribes Alliance have already entered the ancient battlefield. I have already messaged the others to see if they will stop the bastards from Akron Palace in time, Abysmal Saint Master said, giving chase. Jian Wushuang's face turned dark. He knew clearly that there had to be a wormhole within the ancient battlefield. There would be no way that the experts from Akron Palace could sneak past the various defenses that Sanctuary Alliance had put in place otherwise. Now these experts from Akron Palace were heading towards the wormhole. They had no idea where the wormhole was, or whether the reinforcements could stop the intruders in time. It doesn't matter how many I can kill, I have to try and kill some of the people from Akron Palace, Jian Wushuang said emotionlessly. All of the bastards from Akron Palace should die. Underworld God roared with great killing intent. His eyes were filled with anger. Underworld God hated Akron Palace greatly. He hated them not just because they were part of the 3 Emperors' world. More importantly, they had tried to assassinate him before the eternal chaotic world was aware of the crisis. When he had just broken through and become an Emperor God and displayed great potential, Akron Palace judged that there was a high possibility that he would become one of the higher-ups in the Sanctuary Alliance. Hence, they had planned an assassination once they received news that he had broken through. For Underworld God, he barely survived the assassination. More importantly, his master, whom he respected greatly, had died in the process. Underworld God could not forget this grudge even though years had passed. Now he had finally broken through and become a great emperor and faced Akron Palace once again. Kill! Kill them all! Underworld God roared. Emperor God Qianling and East Royal Emperor God at the side wanted to kill the experts from Akron Palace badly. The chase lasted half an hour. During this time, Emperor Bai arrived at the ancient battlefield and was finding his way to get to the experts from Akron Palace. The experts from Akron Palace finally reached the space which hid the formation. The hidden formation was already operating at full force. The camouflage was gone as it appeared in front of everyone. There were 4 emperor gods in black cloaks who Demon King Chen Yu specially left behind to receive him. They were the few who activated the formation. The wormhole was ready, and the experts from Akron Palace simply needed to step inside. Faster! Demon King Chen Yu shouted as he and the other 6 great emperors dashed forward at their fastest speed. The distance between the 7 people and the wormhole was shortening. Oh no! The experts from Sanctuary Alliance all had black faces. Jian Wushuang knitted his eyebrows tightly. No matter what, I have to kill some of them. Jian Wushuang gritted his teeth. At his forehead were 9 ancient god stars which were radiating jade-black light. 2 of the topmost stars suddenly disintegrated. Jian Wushuang casted Star Destruction skill, and he destroyed 2 ancient god stars. Ancient god secret skill. Moon picking skill. Rumble Jian Wushuang's bloodline power erupted after using Star Destruction skill. He cast Moon picking skill right away using this powerful energy. The oppressive space-time started to suppress the 7 men who were running away. Chapter 21-28. Double Loss. The complete moon picking skill was absolutely formidable. The only question Jian Wushuang had was whether the skill could suppress 7 people at the same time, 3rd stage Great Emperor Demon King Chen Yu included. Desperate, he had to crush 2 ancient god stars to increase his bloodline power, amplifying the skill's powers. Heaven and earth, space and time were all being suppressed. The 7 people, Demon King Chen Yu included, who were about to jump into the wormhole, instantly stopped. What is this? They were all frightened, except Demon King Chen Yu. The experts from the Sanctuary Alliance took this opportunity, while the 7 were being suppressed, to make their way towards them. All of them made their moves in a frenzy. The great emperors who were being suppressed could not block the attacks. Hong! 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 A terrifying roar resonated sequentially, and boundless power was being dispersed. The suppression only lasted for a moment before it disappeared. Run! A great emperor from the Archilon Palace gave a loud roar. They had no intention of getting into an intense fight with the Sanctuary Alliance experts, and all made a run for the wormhole. Xiao! 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 4 figures jumped into the wormhole. Finally, it was quiet. The wormhole was already activated. In front of it, Jian Wushuang levitated without a word. It's a pity, a few of them got away, the Abysmal Saint Master snorted. There's nothing we can do about it. Those great emperors had impressive skills up their sleeves. Without the Sword Emperor's time-space suppression and constriction, they would all have run away, East Royal Emperor said. Indeed. If a great emperor wanted to escape, it would be extremely difficult to take him down. But with Jian Wushuang's moon-picking skill constricting the heavens, earth, space, and time itself, and with such intensity, even a great emperor could not resist. It was also because of that skill that the Archilon Palace suffered its own fair share of losses at the last minute. Regardless, we of Sanctuary Alliance did not suffer too much of a loss this time. On the contrary, this was our victory, Jian Wushuang said. Our victory. The surrounding great emperors looked at each other, all smiles. Even the cold and indifferent Emperor God Qianling had a smile on his face. In front of them were 3 cold corpses floating. From the looks of it, they were all great emperor-level experts from the Archilon Palace. Counting Demon King Chen Yu, there were 7 great emperors. But now, they had taken down 3, all thanks to Jian Wushuang's moon-plucking skill, leaving them vulnerable when they were cut down. The Archilon Palace had poured their resources into this battle with the intention of destroying the heaven-repairing palace and killing Sanctuary Alliance experts. But in the end, the palace had not been destroyed, and the Sanctuary Alliance had only lost a few Sir Gods and Emperor Gods. But the Archilon Palace had lost all their Emperor Gods, and 3 great emperors. This battle was definitely the Sanctuary Alliance's victory. Xiao! 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 Experts from the Sanctuary Alliance and Special Tribes Alliance all started pouring in, along with 6 great emperors and many almighties. Soon after, Emperor Bai came down personally. When those experts saw the 3 corpses, they were all stunned but immensely glad. 3 great emperors. The entire 3 emperors world, along with the Archilon Palace, only had a handful of great emperors. This was definitely a major setback for them. Not only did they fail in their mission, but they had lost so many people as well during the battle. The ancient mystery land was always in Sanctuary Alliance's control. We never expected the Archelon Palace to place such a formation without a trace. Emperor Bai waved his hand, and soon the formation the Archelon Palace had left behind started to fall apart. Come, let's go to the Heaven Repairing Palace, Emperor Bai said. The Heaven Repairing Palace was on the verge of collapsing after the destruction Demon King Chen Yu had caused, but soon it was restored to its previous position. The Emperor gods were still cultivating within the palace. They were not affected by what had happened outside. Unfortunately, Jian Wushuang, Underworld God, and Emperor God Qianling were no longer able to re-enter the palace. The Underworld God and Emperor God Qianling were fine with that, having already reached their objective of reaching Great Emperor levels, but Jian Wushuang. It's a shame, give me more time and I could have finished the second scroll of the immortal celestial body. Jian Wushuang had some regrets, but he could do nothing about it. He had to protect the Heaven Repairing Palace. Although he had only been inside for half a month, his skills had already improved tremendously. For the immortal celestial body's second scroll, he was certain he could master it. It was simply a matter of time. Jian Wushuang and the others waited outside the palace. Another fortnight passed within the blink of an eye. The Emperor gods started to exit the palace. I wonder how many managed to become great emperors out of the 9 of them. Jian Wushuang and the other experts waited in anticipation. At this juncture, every extra great emperor would influence the upcoming battle significantly. Soon, all 9 remaining experts walked out of the palace, and the palace returned to its dilapidated facade. Jian Wushuang watched the 9 people closely. After a moment, he beamed. Not bad, even Emperor Bai nodded. The other experts were surprised as well. They all knew that amongst the 9 people, 6 of them were at pinnacle Emperor God level. 3 of them were already at Great Emperor level. Chapter 21-29 5 Great Emperors. The Heaven Repairing Palace did wonders. The reason why the Sanctuary Palace had paid such a high price to activate it was to create as many Great Emperors as possible. They had estimated only 3 Great Emperors would emerge, for if they were lucky. But now, 3 Great Emperors came out from the remaining 9 people. Adding Underworld God and Emperor God Qianling would make a total of 5. 12 seats, 5 Great Emperors. It was way beyond the Sanctuary Alliance's expectations. Amongst the 3 new Great Emperors was one Jian Wushuang recognized. It was Emperor God Liu Guang. The token for her to enter the palace had been given to her personally by Jian Wushuang. She indeed had not disappointed him, having ascended to Great Emperor levels herself. Another person who had fought for the seat, Emperor God Juzian, was not so lucky. Or perhaps it was due to his lack of ability. Even though he had managed to secure a seat with his Soul Attack secret skill 3 Divine Lights, he was not able to reach Great Emperor levels within the month. Jian Wushuang took a glance at him, and realized he had accepted that fact relatively calmly. Emperor God Juzian had no regrets. He had tried his best. This trip was not completely futile either. Qian Mingzi did not make it either. Jian Wushuang shook his head. In terms of ability, Qian Mingzi was right after Underworld God and Emperor God Qianling. It was a pity he could not ascend to Great Emperor levels. Luck is a pretty unpredictable thing after all. The activation of the palace has given us 5 more Great Emperors, and taken down 3 of Archelon palaces. This has been a great blessing to us. It's only a pity you came out earlier than expected. Emperor Bai looked at Jian Wushuang. The surrounding experts looked at Jian Wushuang, their gazes all conflicted. The experts from the Heaven Repairing Palace, like Emperor God Liu Guang, looked towards him with gratitude. They all knew Jian Wushuang should have had his abilities improve further in the palace, but had to leave early to resist the Archelon Palace experts. It was due to Jian Wushuang that the rest could cultivate for a full month. What's done is done. Jian Wushuang, follow me to Thunderbolt Island, Emperor Bai said. Jian Wushuang nodded. Both of them headed for Thunderbolt Island, while the other experts scattered. In Thunderbolt Island's Great Hall stood Emperor Bai, Jian Wushuang, and ancestor Qian Chen. Jian Wushuang, although you only trained for half a month, you must have gained a lot, right? Emperor Bai asked casually. Indeed, Jian Wushuang nodded. I have improved tremendously in terms of Dao understanding, and I managed to feel the rules of order. My only regret is not having complete mastering my secret skill. If not, I would have third-stage fighting powers by now. Of course, even without the palace, I should be able to master it on my own. How long will that take? Emperor Bai asked. About a decade, Jian Wushuang replied. He had mastered half of the immortal celestial body's second scroll. 10 years should be enough. A decade? How about 3 years? Can you do it within 3? Emperor Bai asked. 3 years? Jian Wushuang frowned and thought for a while. Normally 3 years would be impossible, but if I had sufficient resources and treasures to supplement me, it may be possible. But may I ask, Emperor Bai, why 3 years? Jian Wushuang had questions. The battle between the eternal chaotic world and Three Emperors' world had not begun yet. What was the rush? Unless... Jian Wushuang looked towards Emperor Bai. Emperor Bai and Ancestor Qian Chen had suspicious smiles on their faces. Ancestor Qian Chen said, Sword Emperor, you should know how prepared we are now. Sanctuary Alliance and Special Tribes Alliance have all made their preparations, and with the 5 extra great emperors we have now, we could fight the enemy straight on to the death if we wanted to. But not them. Jian Wushuang understood. So, both of you want to make the first move? He asked. Indeed, Emperor Bai smiled. Since the eternal chaotic world is ready, there's no need to drag this out. We should strike while the enemy is unprepared. We can no longer be on the passive side. From the Dark Millstone, to what happened at the Special Tribes Alliance, to the heaven-repairing palace attack. We have been reacting to their attacks this entire time, but not once were we on the offensive. Even counting the last time you and 3 other experts snuck into Three Emperors' world to destroy the Supreme Emperor Stone, that too was reactionary. But now it is time for us to make the first move. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang nodded. May I know, Emperor Bai, Ancestor Qian Chen, about your plans? He asked. He knew if they were to tell him this, they would have drawn out a plan by now. We have one plan, and it's quite simple. It'll be the same as the last time. Send a small team of experts to infiltrate and damage the Three Emperors' world, Emperor Bai said. What? There again. Jian Wushuang's face changed. The Three Emperors' world was the enemy's base. To send a small team to infiltrate that place would be immensely dangerous. Chapter 2134 Stalling. The last time Jian Wushuang had infiltrated the Three Emperors' world with a small team was because they had to. The Dark Millstone was operating and they had to stop it. It was out of necessity, but this time, although it would be a surprise attack, there was still a high level of risk involved. Relax, even though the risks are high, we have a more comprehensive plan in our hands, Emperor Bai smiled. Jian Wushuang started listening attentively. Jian Wushuang, the Three Emperors' world is different now. They used to have enormous formations to protect themselves, and they had spies monitoring our every move within the Sanctuary Alliance. That was why the enemy knew what you all were doing the previous time. But now, with the Supreme Emperor Stone destroyed, the Three Emperors' world no longer has large protective formations to protect themselves. The spies have all been taken off too. You will be able to infiltrate without a trace, Emperor Bai said. Jian Wushuang squinted and asked, even though that may be true, the Three Emperors' world on its own is still very strong. If we want to hurt them badly, we need more great emperors, and that will be impossible to hide. That is correct. That is why we need you to hide, Emperor Bai smiled. Me? Jian Wushuang flinched, before coming to his senses. You want me to disguise myself, and let the great emperors hide within my chaos divine weapon? The last time the 4 experts had managed infiltrated into the Three Emperors' worlds called the Imperial City, Jian Wushuang was only at the early stage chaotic realm, with the other great emperors hiding within his Blood Mountain sword. VAR AXID 6327 document element bad XID 6327 SSP 6327-math floor date now. Windowed at pubic stag windowed pubic stag again. The same move? Jian Wushuang, your Chaos Divine weapon is an outstanding weapon in terms of power and aura concealment abilities. Even I could not tell it was a suppressing type treasure. If our experts were to hide within it, the other experts would not be able to tell. You can still infiltrate the Three Emperors' worlds, lair the Imperial City easily. Find the best chance and strike. Kill those experts in the shortest time possible. Not just the great emperors, but the emperor gods, sir gods, kill as many as you can. I have discussed it with Xianxia. If you pick a good time, our team will take down hundreds of almighties within the shortest time, and maybe take down some great emperors if we are lucky. Emperor Bai said solemnly. Jian Wushuang's eyes were gleaming, trying to process everything. After a while, he nodded. Indeed, the imperial city is the three emperors' world's largest congregation of experts, with plenty of almighties. If I can find a good opportunity, I can make a dent in their forces. But after I'm done, they will naturally send their reinforcements in the shortest time possible. I'll be in danger by then. Don't rush, Emperor Bai waved his hand. That was just step 1. Now, for step 2, that's the most important one. The second step. Jian Wushuang's gaze shifted. A token, prepared for you. Emperor Bai handed it Jian Wushuang. This token was gold from top to bottom, and had an ancient aura to it. Most importantly, it had a boundless space-time power which even Jian Wushuang could not see through. Emperor Bai, this is... Jian Wushuang looked at the golden token curiosity. This is a void token, discovered by our experts in an ancient battlefield a long time ago. From the creation of the Sanctuary Alliance till now, we have only found one, Emperor Bai said. Only one. Jian Wushuang flinched. One could only imagine the rarity of this treasure. Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. He was familiar with time-space tunnel tokens. They had them at the eternal chaotic world. But those tokens had restrictions. They could only work within the same holy kingdom. If the other party was in another kingdom, the token would not work. Those tokens were also constricted by space and time. If a certain space-time were to be locked up, the token would not work. But the token Emperor Bai was holding, it ignored space-time locks and distance. No matter how far you were, the token would work. No wonder the Sanctuary Alliance could only find one. Jian Wushuang was certain that the token must have been a rare treasure even in the ancient era. Jian Wushuang, before your team makes their move, I will gather all the experts from both the Sanctuary Alliance and the Special Tribes Alliance. Once the three Emperors' World reinforcements start to come for you, use the token. We'll all rush through. Emperor Bai said solemnly. Jian Wushuang was taken aback by this plan, but understood completely. Send a small team of experts to forestall the Imperial City and deal as much damage as possible. Then use the Void Token to bring in the rest of the forces to fight the enemy reinforcements. You intend to wipe them out in one shot? Jian Wushuang asked. Correct, or at least we must damage them severely. We cannot go soft on our sworn enemy. We will make our move once we get the opportunity, Emperor Bai said coldly.